All right, so this is for Aaron. This is your 71 Jimmy. Don't mind that one in the background. That's my Blazer body. It's going to come in a box like this. I'll just show you how to set it up. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just to show you everything, I just want to make sure. If you try to lift it up by the body, it's just going to come off of the frame because it's just held on by magnets. So just make sure that you hold the body securely if you pick it up with the body. And the chassis, I usually just pick it up by the bumper mounts, either the front or the back. I wouldn't hold it by the bumper because they're just plastic, just held in with 2 screws on either side. It probably won't fall, but just to be safe, I would just hold it by the mounts, not the bumpers themselves. So this is what your chassis looks like. This is the steering servo. You can see it's connected with a servo horn here. That's a metal servo horn, so it should be good. Receiver is in here. If you need to take that off, they're just 2.5 millimeter Allen screws. Actually, a 2 millimeter hex head. We'll take those off. This is the ESC, or the motor controller. There's no on-off switch, so as soon as you plug the battery in, it'll it'll be on. These are the leads for the lights on the body. I'll show you how to hook them up. These are the wires for the motor. This is your motor. Transmission. It's got a scale transfer case, which is kind of cool. It's pretty scale looking. I mean, you're not going to find a 71 Jimmy with 4 links on it. You're going to probably see leaf springs and trailing arm rears and whatever. But they're cool. They run pretty good. So let me grab a battery here. Actually, let me grab the radio. I'll be right back. Okay, here's your radio. People call it the controller. I call it the radio. It's got a transmitter here, a receiver in the truck. I labeled it because I have like 20 of these radios. And I'll tape a battery to the outside like this because otherwise sometimes the batteries corrode if they're all connected in the battery case. So you just pop the case off. It's 4 AA's. I'm going to need 2 hands for this, so bear with me. There we are. So it's your standard AA setup here. Just pop that battery in. Pop the cover back on. You can use rechargeables in here if you have them. Otherwise, just like your Energizer or Duracells will work fine. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Turn the radio on first so that the switch is right here, and you'll see the light, that red LED will light up. And then you can hook the battery up. So it slides in here under this strap, and it's got a Velcro on it, so you can just tighten it down. I gave you 2 batteries because you might want to charge one. Keep 2 of them charged, and then when one of them dies, just pop the other one in. Plus, I got a good deal on Amazon. You buy like a charger and 2 batteries, you get a pretty good price. So this is a regular Tamiya connector. You're probably familiar with it from your old Tamiya. And this is a Dean's connector on the ESC. It just happened to come with that, so I went ahead and made a adapter for it. So see if I can do this with one hand. Pop it in there on that end, and this end. I can manage to not cover up the lens. It's a T-style connector, so you can't put it in backwards. It's kind of foolproof that way, which is nice. You'll hear the ESC beep, and the lights might flash. So let me unhook it and hook it up again so you can see that. So you'll see the lights flash on the ESC. And that's how you know that it's connected. Just to make sure, just take the radio, turn the wheels, you can see them going. So you're good there. Next thing you want to do is just get this battery out of the way. Just want to pop the body on. And when you do that, the best way to do it is to kind of keep the body on its side so you can see the wires. I'll have to secure these wires a little better. It's starting to come off. I'll get some shoe goo to get them secured a little better. So there's two leads here from the ESC, and there's two leads on the body. It doesn't matter which one you hook up to which. They're both the same. There's also little magnets here. And I put those on it so that you can actually clip the, or just snap these leads to the body so they don't get in the way, because they're long enough that they could get wrapped around the axle or the drive shafts or something. So I'm just gonna do this off camera because it's kind of hard to film while I'm doing it. I guess I can set this up. See if I can get this to sit still. No? Okay, well, you just have to trust me. So I'm just plugging, it doesn't matter which one, they only go in one way. Here, I'll just show you the way that they go in. So if you see the conductors on the female end from the ESC, the male end has to be turned so that you can't see the conductors. So the conductors have to be facing each other, and that's how they go together. And as soon as you plug them in, you'll see the LEDs come on, front and rear. And then kind of just snap those magnets down to the magnets on the body, just so they're out of the way. And then if you just kind of sit the body on the chassis, you might have to, like in the back here, you might have to push it in away from the bumper, and it should sit down nice and snug. And since they are only magnets, it will come off if the body tumbles. So that, you know, if you decide to drive up some rocks or a pile of dirt or something and you turn sideways, it might roll over. The first thing that'll happen is these mirrors will break off. So I got an extra set in the box. And the body might come off. These Lexan bodies are pretty tough. They can take a beating. But you know, you don't want to mess up your nice paint job, so probably drive it pretty carefully. Lights are on. Oh, I forgot to put the license plate on. I have those Delaware plates that the guy made for me. I'll put those on. So that's it. It's all set. And I've done this before, so I can drive with one hand. Oh, it's actually set up backwards. Hang on, I got to reverse the settings. Yeah, that's right. Then I got to adjust the throttle trim. Just had this adjusted for a different truck before. All right, so your typical trigger radio, pull the trigger, it goes forward, push the trigger, it goes backwards. It's set up so that it automatically brakes. As soon as you take your finger off the trigger, it brakes. It can be set up to coast and not apply the brake until you press the trigger forward. And in that mode, you press the trigger forward once to brake, bring it back to neutral, and then again to go in reverse. There's a jumper on the ESC to change that if you want to. I'll show you that in a second. And then you just drive, man. You can drive over stuff. You know, drive over your shoes or your cat or whatever's in the way. It's got pretty good low speed control. That's what these crawlers are known for. 4-wheel drive, locked differentials. There it is. This battery's probably about half charged. But that's as fast as it goes right now. If you charge it fully, it'll go a little faster, but it's a crawler, and it's it can take up to a 3S LiPo battery, which is 11.1 volts. But these are nickel metal hydride 7.2 volt batteries, so you're not going to see a lot of speed with it. If you do want to upgrade to LiPo batteries, you can do that. There's just a jumper on the ESC for that. So let me show you those jumpers. I'm just going to unplug everything here. Here are the jumpers down here, and if you look on the side of the ESC, it tells you what those jumpers are for. So let me see if I can focus on them. Come on, there it is. No, screw it, I'll just pull this off. If it can be Velcroed down, it's Velcroed down. I like to use this Velcro stuff. This is like dual lock 3M. It's pretty good. So the top jumper is drag brake, which is when you take your finger off the throttle, how fast it slows down. So 100% is like immediate. 50% is it ramps up a little bit. And right now it's on 50%. If you switch it to 100, you just notice that it's a lot jerkier when it stops. And the other jumper is for the type of battery. It's on Ni cell, which is for, oh wait, no, it's on LiPo. All right, let me swap that over. That could have been a problem. I'll tell you what the difference is in a second. Pop that over to NIMH. Good thing I checked. Yeah, okay. That's on NIMH now. The difference is, if it's on LiPo, there's a low voltage cutoff, because LiPos, you shouldn't discharge them below like 3.2 volts per cell. Nickel metal hydride, you can pretty much run them until the truck stops, which would be like 5 volts-ish, because the ESC will just turn off and won't have enough voltage at that point. You don't want to run a LiPo on NIMH mode, because that can damage the battery, because it won't do the cutoff. And LiPos, you definitely need a cutoff. So definitely switch that jumper if you switch to LiPo batteries. If you're not worried about speed, then just run these. These will be good. I ran these in my I had a Tamiya Tundra high lift, and they work fine. They last a couple of years. One of the cells will go bad inevitably, just because that's the way these cells are. LiPo batteries are a little more reliable, but they're also a little more dangerous. So there's stuff you got to worry about with LiPo. If you want to switch to that, let me know, and I can tell you what that's all about. You also got a charger. I'll show you that. It's a universal charger for nickel metal hydride and NiCad batteries. So if you get a LiPo, you'll have to get a LiPo charger. If you do want that, I can show you what to get. There's some good ones out there that are pretty reasonable. Anyway, you just plug this in, and there are two settings. There's a 2 amp setting and a 1 amp setting, and it just depends on how long you want to take to charge it. These are 3800 milliamp hour batteries, or 3.8 amp hour batteries, which means that at 1 amp it'll take 3.8 hours to charge. At 2 amps it'll take half of 3.8. What's that? 1.9. Yeah, it'll take about 2 hours. Anyway, it's pretty easy. All you do is plug it in. It's the same connector. It's the Tamiya connector. I'm going to do that off camera. And this probably, you probably had one a lot like this for your old Tamiyas. There is a temperature sensor. So what I do is I'll usually just tape this down on top of the battery. You can also make a slit in the plastic and stick it in there, or you can try to stick it in the end of the battery where the wires go in. That's just like a safety precaution. And because these batteries will I mean, I've heard of these catching fire, but I think it's really, you have to abuse it. You have to charge it like, 5-10 amps to damage them. This, 1-2 amps, that's not going to hurt anything, but just better safe than sorry. I usually will just tape the temperature sensor onto the battery, and that's it. You just wait for this light to turn green. And what I usually do is I usually put it on 1 amp and then just let it charge overnight. And when it's full, it'll switch to trickle charging so it doesn't damage the battery. That's the smart part of the smart charger. And then you'll be ready to go. You will notice it's definitely going to be peppier on a full charge. So that's it. I got replacement parts. If anything breaks, just let me know. I'll send you the parts that you need. If you want to upgrade, let me know. I can point you to a better ESC, a better servo, a better motor, stuff like that. That's it. You got the cool tires on there. I got the little center caps, the chrome rings. I think that's it. Any other questions, give me a shout. All right, bye.